Hey there everyone, how are you today? I bet you are beautiful-tastic as always. Today I'm going to talk about the brand new device from xppen. I'll focus on the main features while I keep it as simple as possible so anyone can follow. You don't need to be a tech nerd or something, so don't worry about it. Now, before we begin, I want to be clear about a couple of things. Number one, this video is not sponsored. xppen asked me if I want to test their newest device with my intensive workflow, and once again, I accepted the challenge. Just like in my other videos, I'm going to share my honest opinion. If I like or dislike something, I'm going to tell you about it. Everything is based on my personal experience with this device. Number two, if it's your first time watching my videos, I am not a tech reviewer, I'm not trying to be one. I am a pro user, I am a professional animator, and everything you see on my channel I create on my spare time. Now, with all the respect, unlike most tech reviewers, I didn't use the device for 30 minutes and moved on to review another device. In my case, I wanted to push it to the limits, so I used it for over 3 weeks, which included intensive sessions. My goal in this video is to help you decide, is this device for you? Or maybe it's not. Let's begin. This is the Artist Display 24 Pro. It's the first 23.8-inch with 2K QHD resolution graphics display from xppen. Its color gamut coverage is up to 90% Adobe RGB. To keep it simple, in non-technical terms, that means it's very accurate and more vibrant. Now, before I continue with the rest of the features, let's see what's in the box. The screen comes with a protection layer that we need to remove, and you can easily notice the reflection compared to what's beneath. The other layer, which we're not supposed to remove, is the pre-installed screen protector, which have two jobs. 1. Protect the glass from being scratched. And 2. It's a special matte layer that reduces reflections on the screen. And of course, we have the heart of the package with the rest of the parts that we need. We have a nice drawing glove, a screwdriver to install the pen holder, USB-C to USB adapter and the pen holder, a fancy pen case which holds inside 8 nibs and the pen. We have the power adapter, 2 different types of power cords to support different countries, USB-C to USB-C cable, a nice HDMI cable, an extra pen as a nice gift because it's always good to have another pen. We have the quick guide, guarantee, and cleaning cloth to keep your screen nice and shiny. Now you know what's in the box, so let's continue with the rest of the features. One of my favorite parts is the new stand. It's obviously designed specifically for this model, and it's so easy to tweak considering it's a big screen. Now, thanks to the rubber parts on the bottom, you don't need to worry about the screen shaking. I like that it came pre-installed and ready to use. Also, it's a VESA mount standard, which means you can replace it with another supported monitor arm if you like. Another nice feature is the USB hub, which allows you to connect your mouse, your smartphone, or any other device. The Artist 24 Pro supports USB-C to USB-C connection, and that's how you connect it to your PC. And if your PC doesn't support USB-C, you don't have to worry about it because the adapter is included in the box. If your PC doesn't support USB-C with video transmission, just use the HDMI. Now connect it to the power adapter and you're ready to go. The new design including touch buttons, which allows you to control the menu and tweak the brightness, for example. It works great and all, but to be honest, I'm not a big fan of touch buttons in general, mainly because I like to feel a button when I press it. But after a couple of weeks, I got used to them and it's not too bad. Still, I do like real buttons much more. Speaking of real buttons, I'm extremely happy with the 20 express keys and 2 red dial wheels, which are customizable. That proves that xppen are listening. If you'll check out my older reviews, you'll hear me asking for extra buttons because they are definitely speed up any type of workflow. The buttons and the dial wheels feels great. Once you'll get used to them, you'll barely need to use your keyboard for hotkeys. Just to make it clear, that's 20 buttons per software. Now that's a very powerful feature. One of my favorite additions to this model is the on-screen pen holder. Peel off the rubber piece and use the screwdriver to install it. As you can see, it's easy peasy, and you can easily install it on the left or the right side of the screen. Let's move on to the pen case and the pen itself. On one tip of the pen case we have 8 replacement nibs for the pen. Once you're ready to replace a nib, just put the pen in the center hole in an angle and pull it off gently. Now choose one of the 8 nibs and all you need to do is to put it inside the tip of the pen. It's that simple. The other tip of the pen case is a mobile pen holder, which allows you to put the pen anywhere you like. Basically, you have 2 different pen holders, and in my opinion, it's very useful. The materials of the pen feels and looks premium quality. The rubber on the bottom feels like a part of the pen and not separated, which is great. The buttons feels good and they're not popping out of the pen too much. Personally, I like this design a lot. The pen is lightweight and it's very comfortable to hold and use just like any other pen, but to be honest, I wish it was a little bit heavier. One of the great features of the pen is that it's battery free. That means you don't need to recharge it ever. Another great feature is the 60 degrees of tilt, which emulate much more natural drawing and painting. Also, the pen supports over 8K of pressure sensitivity, which is way more than what you need. Believe me, I know. As soon as we connected the Artist 24 Pro to our PC, the very first thing we must do is to download the latest drivers from xppen website. The installation process is very simple and quick. I always like to test the pen and the screen before I even touch the drivers panel. As you can see, I test the edges of the screen to make sure that there are no issues or glitches. Out of the box it's great, the calibration looks perfect from moving the pen all over the active area. Also, I'm testing the response rate, which is 220 RPS, and the response time, which is 14 milliseconds. To keep it simple, the latency is almost real time and I'm happy about it. Now let's have a quick look at the drivers panel. On the monitor section, you need to make sure that the Artist 24 Pro is selected. You can choose what each one of the pen buttons will do. They can either emulate your mouse buttons or you can set a customizable function. In this section, you can test the pressure sensitivity of the pen and also you can tweak it to get more or less sensitive. You can calibrate the screen in case it's not accurate out of the box. You can also play around with the display settings, but I found the default good enough for my needs. Setting up the express keys is the best part. You have the general default shortcuts and you can also choose a specific software with specific functions. That means you can have 20 shortcuts for every software. And of course, it's the same for the red dial wheels. I don't think the best way to fill the pen is to waste time on drawing lines, because every software have a different brush engine with different delays and tilt. That means you'll get different results in each software. Of course, it can't harm, so I tried Krita, Adobe Photoshop, Toon Boom Harmony, and even sculpting in Blender. I didn't have any wiggly shaky lines or issues at all, everything works perfectly fine. But if you really want to feel how the pen works, you must create something with it. And I'm not talking about a rough sketch. There is no doubt the best way to do that is to take the time and create something that you like. So while you're watching the speed up creation process, allow me to share my overall impression about the Artist 24 Pro. Now remember, my conclusions are based on my personal experience from over 3 weeks of intensive sessions I did behind the scenes. One of the things that are very important for me is the build quality of the device, and I must say the Artist 24 Pro is built like a tank. It's heavy, it's steady, and the materials are high quality. Usually I don't compare models, but my favorite one before the 24 Pro was the 22E Pro, and I still like it. Just to show you how big the difference is mainly because of the panel, it looks like a beast next to the 22-inch model. I found myself tweaking the stand more than usual during my sessions, and based on that, I can definitely say that it's my favorite stand from xppen so far. I'm aware that some people are obsessed with this thing called the parallax issue, but since I already shared my mind about this subject so many times before, to keep it short, let me share my advice. No matter what model you're using, just sit in front of the device while you focus on the mouse sign or the brush, and you won't notice any parallax, mainly because the space between the pen and the screen behind the glass is tiny these days, and yes, especially in this model. The 2K QHD resolution is sharp and it's a nice upgrade for 24-inch screen. The more I used it, I felt how the colors are very vibrant and accurate compared to other models. In my case, I didn't even need to tweak the balance or change the settings. Drawing and animating especially feels like a dream, and it's even addicting. Once you start creating, it's almost impossible to stop, probably because it's a bigger canvas. The express keys are sure helping, and I'm so happy that I have 20 of them, plus the red dial wheels. While drawing near the edges, I didn't press them by mistake. This could easily happen if they were touch buttons. Luckily, they're not. Now that's a smart design. Now, what would I like to see in the future of xppen models? Okay, so the pre-installed screen protector was always a nice addition, but please give us edged glass instead. I think it's about time. 2K resolution is amazing, but 4K resolution will be much more amazing and useful, especially for pro users. Okay, let's move on. Now that we have 20 buttons, which is amazing, many users will probably try to put stickers on the express keys, because nobody can remember so many shortcuts without labels. Yeah, even I tried it. The problem is that they keep sliding out after a while, so I would like to suggest two possible design solutions. 1. You can add a transparent pocket-like piece on the top of each button, so we can insert labels beneath. 2. If you wanna make it even more useful, upgrade the buttons to RGB color LEDs and give us the option to change the colors using the driver's panel. For example, red is undo, blue is redo, and so on. Also, we'll be able to change RGB colors dynamically per software, and that's why I didn't suggest non-LED steady color buttons. One last suggestion, I promise. Please do not turn the buttons into touch buttons. Most people like to feel and have an indication when they press a button. Now, for the most important question, should you buy it? If you're a pro user who works in the industry just like me, yes, there is no doubt, stop everything and buy it now. This is a professional device and it's up to the level I can trust on heavy projects. If you're an animator, oh yeah, you sure wanna save your money for this beast. This device is the most animator-friendly model I used so far from xppen. If you're just a beginner and you can afford it, listen to me carefully. Don't waste your money on any other smaller screen models and get this one. The reason is that you'll have a bigger canvas to work with and it will be easier for you to practice and learn as you go with a professional device. If you can't afford it yet, I would totally recommend to save the money until you can afford it. But if you can't wait, check out one of the 22-inch models. Now this is important. This device is big and heavy. I highly recommend it if you have a steady workstation and enough space on your desktop. If you're traveling a lot, this model is not for you. There are different solutions for traveling, such as the 15.6 Pro that I covered before, and you can find all the links on the description. Now, most new users are confused and may think that this is a computer screen, so let's make it clear for once and all. No, the Artist 24 Pro is not a computer. It's a screen that you must connect to a PC. Before you go and purchase anything in general, I want to give you a friendly advice. Make sure to check out the links on the description, so you can read all the details and specs before you buy anything, and also you can see the current price. Sometimes there are special sales, so you should check it from time to time. I hope that this video helped you to learn and decide if the Artist 24 Pro is for you. In the meanwhile, see you later, alligator. Bye.